Hey everybody, welcome back to Backlog Banter. I'm your boy Abram, joined as usual by Tucker Hazel, and we are here to talk about something Tucker doesn't care about, and that is Super
Nope.
Nintendo World. And so, if you want to have a more productive conversation about the topic with me, join our Discord link as usual, top of the description. If you're down there looking for a fucking ticket to the park, click subscribe, click like, ring the bell, the cat bell, if you will. If you ring it enough, Shigeru Miyamoto will think about you at night. But Tucker, let's
Yeah.
talk about Super Nintendo World, which is opening at Universal Studios Japan
Yep.
in a few days. I don't want to reveal when we're recording this in case I put it up late. But the fact of the matter is, on the 18th of March, the park officially, finally, is going to be open.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of going to be an overview discussion, just whatever we want to talk about, whatever direction we want to take it in. Because Tucker, you're not a theme park fan.
No. That it's everything that is gross and vile about humanity crammed into like what, a couple square acres of
A couple
park.
acres. Yeah, not enough. A
Not
lot of forced perspectives to make you realize that you're not in like this like fucking tiny little trash compactor, you
uh-huh.
know? So
Yeah.
this is where we differ. I think this is why it's going to be either a really interesting discussion or a really soul-sucking discussion. Because I am a big theme park fan. I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse shirt right now. I'm a big Disney guy. I have gotten to go to the parks, not a whole ton because being from Maine, believe it or not, they don't have fucking Disneyland up there. Um, but when I visit Disney World, because my grandparents live in Florida, I always have a good time. I've gone to Epcot a couple times, been to actually Disney World a couple times. I've been to SeaWorld. I've been to things of that nature. I like parks.
Mhm.
I think they're a lot of fun. And a Nintendo theme park, Tucker.
Holy shit. I I can't believe that you're not splooging your fucking pants right now just thinking about it.
I bought this thing, Tucker. Do you understand how
Yeah,
much?
see, so where we differ is that I prefer to limit
Sure.
my money spending and interest in things to more reasonable degree, which is, I'm fucking with you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that you got the Game Watch. I hope you have a great time with it. Hope you have a great time when you go to Super Nintendo World within the next 10 years, probably not later.
Well, speaking of that, actually, the Orlando opening for the park right now is
Oh yeah.
scheduled for 2026,
Yes.
which is soul crushing. I believe it was 2023 or
Hmm.
2024 pre-COVID.
Sure.
Um, but if there's one thing Florida is not, it's good at handling COVID.
True.
So that's a whole debacle in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
And of course, getting myself to Osaka, Japan is not especially feasible.
At the moment, no.
Even at a different moment, it's not especially feasible.
Also true.
But Super Nintendo World,
That's the thing that might push you to do it. If
I've always,
anything, if anything would push you to try even harder, it
yes.
is a Nintendo theme park where you can spend all your fucking little grubby CBR dollars on fucking Nintendo knickknacks.
Do you remember Game of the Year Death Stranding?
I've heard of it.
Remember when Sam Porter
It
Bridges
didn't
would
win
have
Game
a
of the Year. What the fuck are you talking about?
remember when Sam Porter Bridges would have like a fucking backpack to the moon full of shit
Mhm.
and he was
Oh.
delivering? That would be me walking through the park
You
fucking
remember when Sam Porter Bridges would crack open a Monster Energy drink? That's gonna be you with Nintendo stuff. You're like, hey guys, Nintendo. No, but honestly,
yeah.
I totally see the appeal of
Yes.
theme parks. I see the appeal of one based on Nintendo stuff. It does seem like it's been a while since we've seen a new theme park open in general. Like they're
Yeah.
usually pretty old and crusty that just keep getting repainted. But this totally being an entirely new thing, I think is really interesting. I don't know how far we're gonna get into this. I think there's some sort of gamified elements to the park itself. But I have gone to a bunch of theme parks in my life, and I usually
Yeah.
just sit on a bench and cry for a few hours. That's not a joke. That
I
has happened
I
many
assumed
times.
that was true.
Yeah.
Yes. But Tucker, I actually have a lot of conflicted thoughts about Super Nintendo World.
Okay. Interesting.
Um, and a lot of it stems from the fact that building a theme park takes a lot of fucking time and energy and money and space. And
True.
those are all things that are limited, especially when you're a theme park
Japan.
maker. Yes, in Japan particularly.
Space.
My biggest problem with Super Nintendo World is that it's basically just a Mario theme park.
Mhm.
Um,
True.
which I think is a little bit disappointing. It makes sense, of course, if you're going to start with anything, you're going to start with Mario, right?
Yeah.
And we there are some little things like you can find Olimar and the Pikmin in the park because people are already getting to see it and posting footage and everything. So they're little nods to other Nintendo things, but it by and large it is a Nintendo park.
Mhm.
Um, which is it
Mario
just feels,
Park.
yes, it's a Mario Park. I
Yeah.
misspoke because I want
Yeah.
that Nintendo park.
Mhm.
I want the Animal Crossing Main Street, and then you walk over to the Buzz Lightyear's ride, but it's Link and you're playing crossbow training and
Yeah.
it's actually worth your time. And
Mhm.
you're going over to a Metroid Dark ride and fucking Ridley's jumping down on you, you know?
Yeah.
And I have no doubt that those things are going to start to roll out over time. You know,
Mhm.
there are rumors for a long time, and I think these are actually kind of substantiated about Universal working on a Pokemon park. So I can see
Interesting.
Pokemon expanding what Super Nintendo World already is.
Mhm.
But definitely my biggest disappointment is that it is so Mario focused. And I love Mario as much as the next guy,
No, yeah.
but you know, I think that that's just a little bit limiting. You know.
I totally agree. It's always been looking, or from the outside looking at these
Yeah.
concept art. I was following all the concept art that was coming out as all the news of which rides were going to exist and layouts of the park and things like that. I always
Mhm.
thought it seems a little bit small, and maybe that's because they're planning on expanding it with other areas based on
Yeah.
other properties in the future. But it seems a little bit strange to limit themselves to only Mario. And I could not tell you how many rides there are. I couldn't tell you the names of the rides or what they're based on, but I know that there's a Bowser's Castle one.
Yes.
I know there's a Mario Kart one. But
So to
yes.
interject quickly, the Mario Kart ride is inside Bowser's Castle.
Oh,
It,
so it's the
it's
same one.
Yeah, it's called like
Oh,
Bowser. I don't
that's
think we have the English name yet, but in Japanese it's something like Bowser's Mario Kart Challenge or something.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's not a good sign that I mix them together. Because do you know any of the themes for the other rides?
So I believe that there are two main rides.
Okay.
There's that one, and then there is it's called like Yoshi's Safari or something, where you're basically riding on top of Yoshi's through
Well,
this
presumably
slower.
inside of Yoshi's.
Yeah, you're in his egg, actually. You begin by stepping onto his tongue and into his mouth, and you crawl through his colon, and you ride a little Yoshi egg around.
Hmm.
But no, you get on the back of Yoshi's, and it's a slower ride. There's more animatronics. You see like Captain Toad waving at you and things of that nature.
Hmm.
So those are the two main rides, which isn't especially surprising because theme parks are very modular, and starting with a little bit less and making sure it gets a lot of traffic is important
Yeah.
because even a property like Mario that seems like a guaranteed hit
Hmm.
in the theme park world is not necessarily a guaranteed hit because Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge ran into some troubles at the beginning where it
Hmm.
wasn't meeting capacity. There's a lot that goes into a theme park that seems a little bit strange outside looking in at some of these properties.
Yeah.
So I understand why it's starting small, but I just think that it could have been Mario Kart ride, and then the second tier ride is like a Zelda ride, you know?
Yeah. Some exploration through Hyrule Castle or some sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have even just been going through. You could have been on Epona's going through Hyrule Field, and you
Sure.
see fucking Malin and Talon at the Lon Lon Ranch waving at you and things like that.
Sure.
You know, I think that would have given it a little bit more of a Nintendo flavor opposed to just a Mario flavor. But what's here is cool, and something that you mentioned was like the gamified elements.
Yeah.
You basically get like a slap bracelet that has like a Mario character on it,
Hmm.
and it coordinates with an app on your phone. And in the park there's a bunch of these like interactive points where you can tap your band to it and various things happen in the world. So like there's this one, Mr. Miyamoto demonstrated this in the direct video, but you tap onto like this mini game where you're trying to hit a power block at the right time to bounce the Koopa shell up to I forget what you're trying to hit, like another power block to get a star or something.
Sure.
There are these really many interactions that you can cause with the band, and then that communicates with your phone. You get coins and such.
Sure.
That's a fun way to integrate actual Nintendo game elements into the
Yeah.
park more.
Not that they'll be especially complex
No.
or engaging. But I think that the concept of just having that at all, I think
Yeah.
is interesting enough. We'll have to see how it plays out because I'm actually looking right now at the aerial shots of the park.
Yeah, you are.
It's small.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of space for people to be. But I see it kind of maybe being a logistical issue of there being what's that full capacity with there not necessarily being enough interactive things and there being
Yeah.
cues for these things that's going to take you 5 seconds to do. But I don't know. It might not end up working as well as they think, but obviously we'll have to wait and see. I'm not a theme park coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, but just that's my first thought looking at this. Small size, obviously high demand to want to go to this. But hopefully those interactive elements actually increase the engagement and the experience because that would be really cool. And that's something that even I have to give them props for. Like I'm interested in something like that.
Yeah, and I think they could use them in a smart way to help make overcrowding feel less important because I'll never forget standing in the queue line for Peter Pan's ride for an hour and a half, reading Mario Party 10 reviews on my phone. Not a particularly engaging way to spend an hour and a half waiting for the Peter Pan ride. But if along the ways I could have been tapping a little band to make little animations play in the queue line and everything, that's a compelling idea. So I hope that plays out well.
Mhm.
We also know, which Jean is very excited for, there's a Toad restaurant run by Chef Toad who talks to you and like waves a frying pan around and makes food for you. I don't think that would warm
How does
your
that
cold
work?
dead heart.
Well, how does that? I don't even.
Well, basically they like in the restaurant there's like an animatronic of him or like a
Yes.
statue, but there's also a big like what is it? It's a screen, and the screen is like integrated into the wall. It looks like you're looking back into like the kitchen area of the restaurant from the seating
Okay.
area, and you see him like cutting the vegetables and fucking frying the things, and and he'll like look at you and be like, "Hey, I'm making you your gumbo or whatever they say in the restaurant."
Yeah.
So I think that's really cute and clever. But again, why couldn't it have been like I don't know. Why couldn't it have been fucking Popo and Nana chopping up a little eggplant for you in an
Yeah.
ice climbers restaurant?
Hmm.
I just think that there's room to expand, and I hope it does. But also, I just want to go and, as you said, empty out my bank account.
Yeah. I really hope they have like a Wario theme to the gift shop.
That would be very clever. I
That
don't
would
think
be
there
great.
is. Also, some ugly T-shirts you can buy there. Real ugly, like full print. It's just gross. It's not chic and mature like my Mickey Mouse shirt is.
Uh-huh. Sure.
But Tucker, those are about my thoughts on Super Nintendo World. I want to go. That's my thought.
Yeah, you've probably been thinking that for a while.
I've been thinking this since when did they first announce this park? Like 2016, something like that.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's been it's been percolating almost as long as Pikmin 4, but only one of these things is coming to fruition apparently.
I found a leaked model of a DK ride.
Yeah, that was rumored a long time ago, like a Donkey Kong Land, pretty much that drew a lot of inspiration from like the DKC Returns aesthetic in that
Yeah.
world. But that's not in the park.
No.
Um,
It might be one of the ones preparing for the American park.
yes, that came out bajillion years ago.
Mhm.
That particular rumor, but Tucker,
I don't like theme parks. I'm not excited for this. I don't want to go to Japan during a fucking pandemic. Nothing about this sounds cool. End the fucking video. Damn, you just got really dejected. Hooray, fucking going on rides and fucking seeing Princess Peach. Wow.